What is going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday, Bobby Fye and Eric Sheets Haber. We're going to be talking through this 12-game monster basketball slate. Reminder before we get into everything, make sure to late swap between each games. I just wanted to remind everybody that is an advantage that people don't always take enough full advantage of, and you really need to do it in the NBA. Obviously, a great night last night. Disappointed not to win it, but coming in second on the first one. And if you told me beforehand I would have won $30K on the first night, I'd be very happy. So very happy, especially since it was one entry. Sheets, any overall thoughts you want to get into before we start talking about some plays and what we're doing tonight?
Yeah. So for those, joining us for the first time, again, some people didn't make it for the first 2-game slate. We were doing some testing as well. And listen, as I like to say, it's always good to start with the hashtag cushion to start off the season. So that's good news. But remember, like the NBA is I think it's safe to say it's the toughest DFS sport there is. A lot of people playing it, and there's just a lot of movement. You know what I mean? And it's a lot of player movement, a lot of projection movement, and you have to commit time and you have to act fast, and you have to appreciate what you're getting into. You have to be very, very zen about the freaking NBA. You know what I mean? Like if you let everything that happens in the NBA DFS get to you, you will not have a very good life. Okay, let's just put it that way. There will be times that you get sideswiped. There'll be stuff that happens after lock that you oh my god, whatever. And those things you'll be okay with because because it'll happen to everybody. But there will be things that don't happen to everybody that just happen to you. And you'll be scrambling to correct your lineups, and something will happen to SaberSim, or something will happen to your computer, or something like that, and I can't believe this effing happened. Okay, so we should just all get mad at it now because it's instead of getting mad at it later. So just accept that these things are just part of. It's not like League of Legends where you put your lineups in 3 hours before it starts and you wake up 2 hours after it ends. It's just not the same. And it's like they say, anything that has a lot of money out there is anything worth doing is going to be hard. And, you have 100 days of basketball, however many days it is. Every day is a big prize pretty much. And everybody's getting after it. It's a very popular sport and everybody's getting after it. So, we're willing to put in the work and help teach you guys what to, how to approach this stuff. But I'm not going to make any promises that anything's going to be easy because NBA is difficult.
Yep, and early in the year, it's kind of hard. We don't know all the rotations. We don't know all of how everybody's going to play. So one thing I'm going to do tonight or I'm attempting to do, is to try to adjust my lineups, at least to some extent through the slate. Like, again, just like maybe if some guys I feel are under projected. Like I feel like Paolo Banchero is probably a little under projected today. But I'm trying to adjust just for every half hour, and then I'll adjust when I do my late swaps if I want to. If I like what I'm getting, or if I'm off to a good start, I might just leave it in some cases. But what's going to happen a lot is you'll see projections updating, and you want to get up as close to the minute as possible, but you can get yourself in trouble if you don't get something in there right away. Yep. So you want to get something in there, because while they're adjusting, you could end up with some kind of funky lines, to be honest with you. So just wanted to remind everybody to be a little bit careful on that one. Since it worked well yesterday, I thought I would mention a little bit what my stuff is looking like on FanDuel before.
Yeah, let's keep the same process, whatever works.
And by the way, you finished fourth in the tournament too. Well, it was a good night all around for
that's the difference in our approaches. I'm like getting fourth in the tournament and going around flexing. You're like getting second and want to kill yourself. It's like
well, that's also because of the situation. There's plenty of times where I come in second where I'm very, 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 very happy with second. All right. So, and then just another reminder, we are King stuff. We've been just doing really well for the Stake Kings community. So we are going to only have that available for TrueDFS subscribers. And we actually have another package you could buy if you're not interested in this TrueDFS, if you just want to play that stuff. So if you just want to, bet on us or whatever. So we'll have that available probably by the end of the day based on an email or a message I just received.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll have that very, very soon. Anyway, with all that said, Sheets, what are you finding? I guess I'll ask you first on FanDuel. If you have you run your stuff, or are you still sort of waiting?
So I'm going to tell you where I am in my process right now. Right now, I ran some stuff as of projections from like 15 minutes ago, and in the meanwhile, what I'm doing is rerunning all the projections in the background while this is going on. So I'm going to give you my exposures and what I'm getting with the disclaimer that things are going to change. So I'm going to have a couple of questions throughout the first couple of days about who some guys are. I have to say,
Absolutely.
Not so much on FanDuel, it looks like, but DraftKings, I have a couple of who is guys that I want to ask you about. But like right now on FanDuel, I am getting now just in context. I'm playing. What am I playing? So it looks like 60 or so lineups in the lottery, and like one big buy-in or something, or maybe 70 in the lottery. This year I bumped it up to 70. And then one in the big buy-in. I'm getting 66% of Grayson Allen.
Yeah.
I guess he's just really cheap. He's 4,300. Then I'm getting 62% of Evan Mobley for Cleveland. And then the next guy I'm getting above 50% actually. I'm getting 60% Drew Eubanks. And then a bunch of guys. I'll just read some dudes if you want. Like Kevin Porter, Peyton Pritchard, Osar Thompson. And I don't think these are the same guys that I'm getting on DraftKings. So tell me do you think we're going to have like a lot of FanDuel DraftKings price discrepancies throughout the season? Or are they getting more like together, or do you think it's going to be like this? Okay.
Yeah, early in the season especially, I expect it to be extremely like that.
Okay.
And look, these few point projections, because there's not like this obvious insane value on FanDuel, you're going to end up with a lot of Grayson Allen pretty much no matter what. But other guys like DiVincenzo, Sidman has him much higher rated than everybody else does. That's going to dictate how much you get of that. Now, again, these are all late swap things. So I don't think you don't have to even necessarily make all decisions right now. The one you got early that you do have to make a decision on is Mobley. Look, Mobley, it's a reasonable price. Is there a bust path? I think sure. I don't know that I want to have like 50% of it, but I'm okay with having like 35.
Is somebody out, or he's just like a good play?
No, nobody's out.
Oh, no, I'm asking why he's popping. Yeah,
it's going to be impossible for me to answer a lot of these early on because there's 12 games. I'm trying to catch up on everything, but
excuse me. If I asked you why I was getting 100% of PJ Washington, you'd be able to tell me why, because he's 3K and it's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just curious if you had anything about.
Is that on DraftKings? They're talking about DraftKings.
Yeah, on DraftKings.
DraftKings. That's just a mistake. No, he's just he's a good play. He's a good DraftKings player. A good FanDuel player, and he's 7,900, and it's very reasonable. There is no. I mean, there's somebody out, but there's it's not somebody. It's not nothing new out. We don't know about DeAndre Hunter yet, and we do know that we don't have Max Strus and Darius Garland, but that we've known for probably before the pricing was even released.
Hey, you know what? We had I was kind of excited about that guy that we Discord that was kind of asking up some questions. Whenever there's like kind of a newer guy in there who's learning about something, I always like it always makes me feel good. You know what I mean? And so just not to be too beginnery about this, but when you say Mobley is a good FanDuel player, you want to talk about that a little more?
Steals and blocks are worth more on FanDuel than they are on DraftKings, and that's pretty much the main reason why you'd say it. He also is a low turnover guy. The guys who aren't as good are guys like Steph. Luka's great everywhere, but Steph, Westbrook. When there's going to be a Westbrook chalk moment of the season, I'm sure of it. Those are guys who on FanDuel, just because they don't get as many steals and blocks and they turn the ball over, which counts for a full point versus half a point.
Gotcha.
Those would be the reasons. Whereas like Wemby, for example, would be the epitome of an incredible FanDuel player. Although actually you could argue, he's just an incredible all-around player in general, but just the blocks and steals, you're going to have some games where he literally is going to get there. He's going to get like 50 fantasy points just off blocks and steals in some games. You know what I mean? He's going to end up with in one of these games, one of these days. I guess that's sort of my first, my thing. And the PJ Washington thing, like, it's almost annoying you know, again, I'd like to try and make an argument of how you could even possibly fade a play like that, but I really don't know that there is an argument. You know what I mean? Like,
You know what? You know what? It's just, you can fight it, but I'll tell you this is just like my experience, whatever, that you're really fighting a losing battle when you try to do that in the NBA.
I agree.
And listen, there is a difference. Like there is a difference between, good, like unfadeable 3K chalk and fadeable 3K chalk. There really is. I mean, there are some times where 3K, like backup centers, you know what I mean, or something like that, or maybe even like shooting guards that don't have a lot of usage that are just gonna, getting 3K, whatever. That's one thing, but there are some of them that are just mispriced and they're just literally mistakes. Yeah. There are a couple of like examples we could talk about from the past, that, like, not to date ourselves or whatever, but this is one of them. That's just it. He's gonna probably he's probably 80% to being the optimal. You know what I mean? Like, or something like that.
It must be high. I bet you it's a lot higher than that.
I guess, just only because the optimals is hard to get. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
But you have to. I think you just have to. I mean, either like if you're, I would say hand building, but if you're manually building, I think you just want to lock him in, and if you're playing Saber Sim, just kind of let it run. You'll get 100% of him anyway.
Yeah, and if not, you'll end up with 95, and it will just be something funny.
Yeah, exactly. But what did you say? You're like I mentioned what I was getting on FanDuel, like the Grayson Allen and stuff. Are you as heavy on him as I am, or no?
I lowered his projection a little because I think it's a little ambitious. But I actually lowered it to the same number that you had it at, so I still have 50% of them. And I'll make my decision on that one later today, if I have to. But for the most part, I'm playing a very similar thing that you are on FanDuel, and except for I am playing 4 of the big buy-ins. I'm playing, and those ones. That's partly why I want to do these shows a little earlier, is I want to make sure I really edit them. Like yesterday was a pure hand build. I want to pay attention to that kind of stuff as best I can. It's a little trickier when you're playing 9 big buy-ins, but hey, it is what it is.
Yeah. On FanDuel, I had a couple of guys I wanted to ask you about. Again, like if you have any information on these rookies and stuff.
Sure.
So I see Ace Bailey. Is he Thurl Bailey's son?
I have no idea, but I mean, he's a top pick.
Because Thurl Bailey was actually on Utah also, back in the day.
I honestly have no idea. It wouldn't surprise me because the way the NBA goes, but super could, like other years, probably could have been the number 1 pick.
Oh, really?
But ended up going number 5. I mean, it's a loaded draft, so everybody's really good from this draft. It's one of the best drafts like in the history of basketball. I mean, Cooper Flagg, basically as power forward center from Duke is starting at point guard tonight for the Mavericks. Right. It's wild. It's going to be a really good young class, and that'll be one of the things we're going to have to keep up with, is trying to figure out how much time these guys are going to play. Also, people in new situations and whatnot are always a little tricky to figure out. But so that's the answer on. I don't know if he's his son. Wouldn't surprise me.
But what kind of a play? I mean, he's expected to be good, is what I'm saying.
Everything. Wing. He's a big guy who can play like a wing. Got sort of like everything in the bag, and had a lot of didn't want to meet with many teams and stuff before the draft, which was weird. So could have even been picked higher. Was a lot of or if different teams are picking, that would be it.
Okay, so I have a couple of guys to ask you about on DraftKings. Let's transition over to DraftKings, and I'll tell you who I'm getting and who we need to rerun. So I'm curious to see where the projections come out on this guy. But this guy's starting for the Knicks, this Ariel something or other. I guess. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
This is starting for Mitch Robb. I'm not sold on that, to be honest. He is 3K. Do we need another 3K guy? If not, why wouldn't we play Yabusele off the bench, who will be lower owned, I would imagine, and probably has a much higher ceiling? So that would be my take.
Okay.
I'm not going to write him off or anything. I'm
just literally familiarizing myself with these guys. Who is, speaking of 3K centers, who is Ryan Kalkbrenner?
I don't know why the plan is for them to start him, and I haven't really been tapped into that situation in Charlotte. I would have just assumed they would have just started Diabate, who is, I think, the better, player. I'm kind of confused by it. I guess maybe they want some spacing. I don't know much about Kalkbrenner. I've heard some people say good things about him. Overheard it on some podcasts and stuff, which I've heard, about everybody by this point. But there's nothing that sort of stood out to me going, why are we like, I don't know what to do with that one. You know what I mean? I honestly, that's when I feel very confused. You could tell me he was going to play 10 minutes. Wouldn't surprise me. You could tell me he was going to play 20, which makes him interesting. Wouldn't surprise me either. It does feel weird, and I would like to see a starting lineup before I actually assume that he starts.
So I'll tell you who I do know something about. And again, like one of the benefits of having a 3K guy is that, you don't have to worry about salary. You know what I mean? The rest of your whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But, I have Joel Embiid at 8,800 against a pretty depleted Boston front court. Do I not just want to play him?
You have Joel Embiid. I'm sorry. What was the price?
8,700 on DraftKings against a depleted Detroit Boston.
He'll be popular.
You think so? Okay.
I think the minutes are very suspect.
Oh, okay. Okay.
This guy doesn't play any minutes, like in general. He plays basically less basketball than anybody in history who's played as long as he has. I don't think anybody's played less, including Bill Walton, by the way, which is kind of amazing. Nobody has played less in the league of any All-Star in NBA history since they've come in the league as Joel Embiid. But I mean, look, at 8,700, kind of hard to just ignore that. So yeah, I mean, he's probably going to be 20% owned, and I'd probably be there. I don't think he plays 30 minutes for what it's worth. Take that for what it is.
Well, what is he hurt, or is he's always hurt? Basically,
he's been hurt for 10 years.
Right. No, that's what I mean. It's not like he's particularly hurt.
Well, he just missed the whole season. Actually, he just missed last two full seasons, basically. It's I can't imagine they start the season off and just run him out there.
What about other spend ups like Anthony Davis or Wemby or?
I think Anthony Davis being a little bit over projected. I love Wemby as a contrary. You're going to hear this from me all year long. Wemby's going to put up games where he has like 120. Like it's not even. You're going to see some like 13 blocks, 7 steals, and 7 threes kind of games. I mean, I expect a massive leap from him. I think he'll be a top 5 MVP guy this year. So really, really like Wemby. But again, it's because I really like him doesn't mean I'm going to get to a ton of them. You know what I mean? I don't know that I love this maybe as much as some other people do. I mean, sorry, I don't know that I love the idea of committing to a guy who, projects so poorly. I totally worded that wrong. Anthony Davis, I just bumped his projection down a little bit because it feels a little bit aggressive. Also, I don't need to pay 30% Davis when I could play 1,000 more Giannis, at the same ownership, or Wemby at 1,800 more. I know it's a big price difference, but Wemby, you can go out there and get me 90 or 80 or something. And Davis, I don't think is getting you out of that plus 60 range most of the time. That would be my take.
So who was on not pace, but he got off to a ridiculous start last season where he was like playing like MVP level before he got a terrible injury. Was Paolo Ventura. I don't know what we think of him and Wagner and that whole team like this year, but listen, obviously
they're one of the favorites in the East.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure they're not like this. Obviously, it's not the greatest environment playing Miami, and Orlando themselves play kind of slow. But those two guys can do stuff.
Yeah. And this XXX says Kalkbrenner is a beast. He's locking him in. I think it's a terrible decision.
What school was he?
I think it's like extraordinarily bad to lock somebody in. If you're playing now, if you say lock somebody in, I'm assuming you're playing 100 lineups. I'm not going to assume you're locking somebody in and playing 2 lineups. That just sounds. Maybe you're playing 20. I don't know. If you're playing 20, sure, but he's not going to be owned that much. I think you're really speculating. And we already have another 3K square. So if you're doing that, you're going to have a very similar build. Now that's okay, but you have 12 games to choose from. Do you really need to lock in a guy who basically projects as, bad value, who literally might play like 15 minutes or 12 minutes on a 12-game slate. I just could never do something like that.
Speaking of guys that I don't know why I'm getting so much of, so my exposure on in DraftKings right now is I am getting 100 of PJ Washington,
Mhm.
and then my next group actually are like 37%, and below, and at the top of that list is Zaire Williams at 3K.
Yeah, this feels very thin to me.
It does, right? I mean, and then there's Nick Claxton I have too. I mean, doesn't this feel just like last year when I would always get to these freaking guys and they would never do anything?
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this. The problem is if somebody's going to have to get there for Brooklyn. Like, they don't have that many guys. If it's up to me, which it is for my lineups, it's very simple. Overweight Michael Porter Jr. and Cam Thomas. Everybody else, I'll basically take what it gives me, with the exception of I did lower Zaire's projection. I don't think that, Saberson had it like 3 points higher than you did. I don't really know why, but I guess if we see a starting lineup, it'll help get a little more clarity on that. But I'm personally, especially it being the first game, we're going to have guys 3K potentially starting later that we don't even know about yet. Like, it's really on the table. I mean, Anunoby is still officially a game time decision, which F the Knicks. Sorry, I love the Knicks. I mean, I enjoy watching them play, but I hate this stuff so much on opening day after you've got a million years off.
It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
Till 5 minutes before the game to change every single thing about the slate. Like, get out of here. I don't know. It irritates me.
Well, who's the guy you mentioned? Michael Porter Jr. He's on Brooklyn?
Yeah. And I love Michael Porter Jr. and Cam Thomas for tournaments tonight.
Really, those guys. I mean, those guys are they're like DFS players. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
those guys they ain't shy. That's for sure.
Yeah, and these guys are going to these projections. I don't know where I end up on this. I think Cam Thomas has like a chance to average like both he and Porter Jr. could average like 26 a game this year, like real points, and they could both average 6 or 7 or seven rebounds in Porter's case, 6 assists in Cam Thomas's case. They don't have any other creators. I guess that's why Zaire is like makes some sense in a vacuum. But do we know it's going to be him? They've got a lot of bodies. Tyrese Martin's going to play some. Jalen Wilson will play some. Day'Ron Sharpe, Noah Clowney, Nick Claxton. They've got a lot of guys who are going to play minutes. They don't have that many shot creators. So for me, I'm erring on the side of just the most shot creation.
Dude, how many shots does Michael Porter Jr. get off in his first trip back to Denver?
That's a good question.
It got to be like 80, right? I mean,
I would imagine to be somewhere in that range. I also think Terrence Mann's going to have a really good year. He's the other Brooklyn guy. Speaking of the early games, I guess that's probably a good thing to do. We talk about the early games first, but
okay.
The Cam Thomas and Michael Porter Jr. overweight those guys, and we'll wait for starting lineups. No matter what, those guys are going to be the same plays anyway. The Knicks, we have to wait on Anunoby news, obviously, which again, irritating.
Unbelievable. It's just
DeAndre Hunter, we don't know about either. He's questionable, but I assume he's going to play as of right now.
What team is he on now? Cleveland.
Right? He's on Cleveland.
Cleveland, right? Okay.
So he's one of the first games, but that could open up a little bit more on Cleveland. I don't think it's going to make all the difference in the world. We're just waiting on starting lineups from Brooklyn and Charlotte. I look. The projection on SaberSim is acting like Diabate starting. The projection other places I've seen act like Kalkbrenner's starting and playing more minutes than I would have thought. So I guess once we get a starting lineup, we'll have a better feel for that one.
And which team is this?
Charlotte.
Okay.
But even if Kalkbrenner starts, I still like Diabate off the bench as a contrarian idea. And maybe Kalkbrenner's fine. I'm not going to like cross him out. I'm just not locking a guy like that in from the
I gotta look up this dude. Where do you know where he went to college offhand or no?
I don't pay attention I pay attention to like the draft and stuff. I don't really pay attention to college basketball.
Was he a top pick?
Where was he picked? I believe
he was from Creighton. Okay.
I believe he was he end of first round or early second round? No, yeah, early second round. That's what it was.
Yeah, he went to Creighton.
And I mean, we'll see. I mean, you look up a highlight you look up right here in the first picture you see is a picture of him blocking Dalton Connect. So
Yeah,
in college.
I'm not too interested in like if
Yeah.
he's going to be popular somehow. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know what's going to happen with him. I think we have to see a starting lineup because it does feel
Yeah,
speculative to me.
round 2, pick 34. Oh, total pick 34. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, but it doesn't mean he needs to start.
And what do we think in general of this Cooper Flag?
He's amazing.
Yeah, he is, right?
He can't miss.
There's not that many guys. What's his price, by the way?
Cooper Flag is 74. I think it's just probably a little too much
to start off with. Yeah, I thought they'd give us a break, give us like 5,200 or something to start off or something.
Oh yeah, and if it was last night, I'd be like, let's gamble on it. You know what I mean? Like, sure. But you have 12 games to choose from. It's kind of hard to like prioritize, especially as you have other scores on that team.
Hey, I'll tell you who's he's filling out a little bit. I don't know what he's gonna do, but like tonight or whatever, I'm looking for Ryan Dunn to have a good improvement this year.
He should improve and stuff, but he's never going to be a DFS guy we want to play, 3 and D. Yeah. But as a real basketball player, I agree with you. I actually thought that I think he's got like a career in the NBA for whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, his family's originally from Long Island. They went to UVA, so
you got the roots.
His brother is Justin Dunn, who pitched for the Reds among other things. Mm-hmm. And he was like much older too. And it's like, it was funny. They thought that the family thought that like Justin Dunn was going to be like the meal ticket, you know, and it turned out it didn't work out that way. Right. So now they got Ryan Dunn coming out. He's from Freeport, and then he went to, I think, Lehigh, which is one of the prep schools or whatever. And so, and UVA, what's his name, Bennett, was very upset when he left, but he's like, I'm not going to thrive here. All you do, if you don't open up the game, you know what I mean? Like it's, they wouldn't even let him shoot like freshman year. It's like, so he wasn't going to develop there.
Yeah. But that is pretty crazy though, because I remember the Justin Nunn name from forever ago.
We used to target all batters against him.
Yeah, right.
I think he was on Seattle for a while. He's on the Reds. I think it's like
Jaylen Brown is a game time decision now. DeAndre Hunter remains questionable. Okay.
Let's see. Anunoby, just game time decision. He's an ankle injury that would be nice if there was somebody at the game that they could like tell me if he was warming up or something.
I mean, even if they're warming up though, you don't.
Yeah, I guess it means
they don't play. That's the only problem. You're right.
Though. Someone with a name I did not even know that he was in the league. Still, Chris Middleton. Someone said Chris Middleton could be sneaky. They could definitely be sneaky.
Chris Middleton is still in the league for sure.
Is he on Milwaukee still?
I don't think that he's in play. Well,
I don't even think he's on Milwaukee anymore.
No. He's on Washington. He's playing in Milwaukee for what it's worth.
Well, there you go.
But he's not like that guy.
Oh, I don't know, man. Let's go. That's it. Lock him in. 6
He'll get his mid-range shot off or whatever.
Who else is on this team? So CJ McCollum is on Washington.
Yeah, a team that is just so weird. I mean, look, he and Middleton will both be traded at some point.
Bub Carrington.
Yeah, they're just trying to get some normalcy while those guys are there because they're building around Carrington, Sarr, George,
Cam Whitmore,
who I think is going to have a pretty good year. They got him from Houston.
What's that game going to be like? I mean,
what's that?
Washington, Milwaukee. That game, that spread's only 9.
It's 10.5.
Oh, okay.
But the Bucks are not considered like a top level.
They're not elite. Okay.
I mean, I'm not saying that they're not going to be, but they're definitely not coming into the year.
I'll tell you who else is kind of an animal, by the way, is this the Alexandra Sarr. I mean, not tonight at DFS or anything, but
yeah, they put his price way up there.
Yeah, right? I mean, you can't play him, but he's. I'm just looking at dudes trying to get acclimated.
So DeAndre Hunter's officially been ruled out. We have our first.
Who has?
DeAndre Hunter. So we have to wait for the projections to update for Cleveland, and then we can go back to it.
How about Lauri Markkanen? He's still in the league. 6,800.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly. Sure.
No, but I mean, to be honest, that feels a little too cheap to me. Hey, it's the early season. Let's see how things go. I don't think they're going to also especially coming off of what he was doing in the Eurobasket. And by the way, we can double Eurobasket. I mentioned last night about how Şengün destroyed everybody, and look what happened with him last night. Maybe it's Lauri Markkanen, who like literally was averaging like 35 real life points a game.
And you know who we have not mentioned? We have not mentioned definitely one of the top 5 offensive players in basketball is Anthony Edwards. He's 9K against Portland, who has been, they could ramp up the pace sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Portland's got probably one of the best defensive perimeter teams in the NBA.
Oh, is that right?
They have
Drew Holiday now?
They have Drew Holiday. So basically, it's funny. So everybody they traded for, everybody that was traded for Lillard is now back in Portland.
I remember that. Then they got Kamara.
Yeah. And Kamara is an awesome defender. Holiday is obvious. And by the way, thank you to Portland. Portland had their lineup out yesterday.
Yeah, I know.
They're like, here's our starting lineup.
The Knicks are starting in an hour. And we don't know who's playing.
No idea, right?
And what about this? What about this? Domantas Sabonis being out for Sacramento. Again, I'm just looking at these things. What does that mean to the average man? Is this your? Oh, he's on Phoenix. Mark Williams. Maybe used to play on him a lot. So I guess Drew Eubanks would be. That's why I'm getting Drew Eubanks. I guess on FanDuel. Okay. For Sacramento, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Who else is in Sacramento? DeRozan, 7,700. Levine. Oh, look, I keep forgetting that's what this team became. Booker, 96. Levine. I'm just saying these with this 3K guy, and basically rendering salary not relevant. I'm just wondering if these overpriced 9K guys should be played for some reason.
There's just so many of them.
I know.
You've got Jaylen Brown if he plays with no.
We don't
know everybody on their team. No portion. Jaylen Brown is an awesome play at 8,900. Zion is an incredible play at 8,900. And
skinny Zion.
Yeah, Zion. This could be the New Orleans is probably the most interesting team in the NBA to me because they have like 9 guys who I think are awesome, but their team is like supposed to finish like 14th in the West. I think that they're one that could be surprising, but Zion's there at that price. Embiid we talked about a little bit. We've got what's his name there, Karl Anthony Towns at 8,500, who's totally reasonable at that price. James Harden at 9,100. All of these guys, Anthony Edwards at 9K. All of them are, I think, fairly similar. I think that if I had to pick, look, we have no. Why aren't we playing Donovan Mitchell tonight?
But he's like I said, he's another one of these 9K guys, right?
But like he's going to be the lowest owned, and he has like everything. You're playing. These are the 1 and 2 teams in the East. There's not any person you can find out there that doesn't have Cleveland and the Knicks are the best. And Mitchell's from New York. I mean, and we have no Darius Garland. Why is Mitchell projected not a little bit?
Donovan Mitchell's from New York,
isn't he?
I didn't know that.
That was his whole thing. I thought he was.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not disputing. I just never knew that.
I thought that was what his whole thing was when he was going to go back to the Knicks were trying to get him. Am I wrong about this? Have I been wrong? Maybe I'm just
no, maybe not. I just don't know where these people are from.
I
don't get to watch any Knicks on television. So
no, you got me. I mean, this is Bobby in early. He's from Elmsfield, New York. I'm on point. I guess I was right.
Where in New York?
Elmsfield.
I don't know if that's actually New York. We'll see.
Well, it's in New York State.
Yeah, I know.
But there was the whole thing when the Knicks were trying to sign him.
Oh, I see. Okay.
They were trying to get him instead of Brunson, remember? And then they got.
This is what we're going to do. We're going to look at the futures, and we're going to see what good value is. Let me share my screen here. This is what we're going to do. We got to do. Embiid minutes limit tonight. That's what somebody's saying.
No, he's asking a question, and there's no way to really answer that question.
Well, there's always a minutes limit.
No. I'm sorry. He is saying. I'm so sorry.
Oh. Okay.
Because I heard speculation both ways. It says he will have a minutes limit, but we don't have a number.
Yeah, one of those or minutes limit 40.
Yeah. So basically, that doesn't really. Yeah, I don't know what that means. It probably means somewhere between 20.
All right. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna bet. I'm gonna bet a couple of Flyers to win the NBA championship.
Okay.
I got one already that I'm gonna. But let's talk through this. I'm not playing any of this top 4 crap. Okay. Rockets can't quite. You can talk about this Walter Clayton. I'm getting some of that. T-Wolves.
Yeah, Walter Clayton's fine, but we don't know whether he's starting or what the situation is or how much he'll play. And the one thing I like about that is it's a late game.
Well, this is interesting.
If you look at SaberSim, you'll get none of him. If you play on Sheets' projections, you'll get a ton of them.
You had mentioned the Magic is one of the favorites. You can get them at 22 to 1.
Because the East is so weak. What is Philadelphia?
Philadelphia is 30 to 1.
It's the most I can talk myself into, like, okay, Paul George is healthy, Joel Embiid is healthy. You have the awesome backcourt. You have McCain and Maxey in the backcourt. You've got Quentin Grimes, who was the best player on planet Earth for about a month last year.
Wait. I have a question. So,
yeah.
Halliburton, he's out for the year or something?
Yeah, but that would be the other team. Like, I just think I would take, I've said this before, I'll take every Indiana over, every Indiana bet action. I want in on it. I believe in the system, and I don't know if I can win a title.
What about the Mavericks troll championship?
That's become a trendy one. What are they?
25 to 1?
Oh, get out of here. They should be, if they're like 100 to 1, we could talk about it. I like the Spurs better than I like them.
Yeah, they might have the best player in the league. I mean,
yeah.
That's all right. So I got a couple. I'll just freaking throw them in there. So neither of them have a chance. Okay. But we're going to go for 180 on the Atlanta Hawks.
Okay.
Because obviously Porzingis can stay healthy for the whole season, of course.
And Jalen Johnson, who's never stayed healthy for a whole season.
And Jalen Johnson. So obviously both those guys are going to play 80 games. Of course. What else?
Okay.
And then the other one, which we're gonna that was 45 to 1. Yeah. And the other one, I'm not quite ready to do the Pistons yet.
No.
But we are going to go with 200 to 1 Memphis Grizzlies.
Oh my God, 200 to 1. That's a pretty good number.
That's what we're going to do.
Remember, this team had like the best record in basketball the last time when John Morant was healthy a year and a half ago. For a while. So
we're going to try it and something to root for or to forget about for many years, many months. Hopefully, like they both make the playoffs and I have something to root for.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, probably OKC is going to be such a big favorite no matter what happens. But I think Denver bounces back for what it's worth this year in the East. The Cavs are the one everybody's picking. I'd like to find a contrarian one, and it would be the Magic, but that's not even that contrarian. So
you want to know one of like the worst bets I ever made? I mean, it turns out that way. So I bet on Philadelphia when remember when Allen Iverson was on the team and they were really good. So I at the All-Star break, pretty much. Like I bet them to win the NBA championship. I was getting like 30 to 1 or something like that.
Oh my God!
Right. So they made it to the finals,
but they were 17 to 1 in that series
against the Lakers.
Yeah,
and they were like 20 to 1 in the finals. I'm like,
17 to 1. I remember that.
I mean, I had to go through all that sweat, all that weaving to not even get that much more than I was getting at the fucking All-Star break.
But it's crazy. I was at Game 1 in LA of that
when
series.
When Philly won the first game.
And Iverson scored 50 and they won. And after they were still 12 to 1 underdogs.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. That reminds me of something. Well, it's kind of the reverse. I don't know why I always think about this one thing. And this has nothing to do with anything. I guess with the World Series starting, it's kind of thematic. Never forget when the Reds played the A's back in, I think it was 1990. A's had everybody.
89, yeah. Oh no, it was 90. You're right. It was 90.
It's Stewart and all the guys. The Reds, I think, Jose Rijo, I think he was their best pitcher. I think.
Yeah, Barry Larkin.
And so the first game was at Oakland because Oakland had the home field or whatever, and Oakland was like a 2 to 1 favorite, and the Reds won, and so in game 2, because it was a must win for Oakland was a minus 250 favorite, and the Reds won, but then they went back to Cincinnati with the home field advantage, and they made Oakland a 2.5 to 1 favorite again, and the Reds won, and then game 4 with the must win game, Oakland was like a minus 270 favorite, and the Reds won.
Yeah, they swept them. That's right. That's really funny.
So everyone's okay. This is when they turn it around. This is when they turn it around. But no.
Yeah. I don't even want to say my thoughts on this World Series because I actually have a take, and I don't want to.
You don't want to curse it? Okay.
But which should give you a feeling that
No, this is what we're going to do. We're going to bet something right now. We're going to bet on what you're thinking. So I'm going to pull it up right now. I haven't even asked you what it is yet. So we're going to look at the alt lines here. Let's see. Series games. Yeah, this is what we're going to do. Well, this is no good. I was just gonna go. Oh, wait, series outcome. Hold on. Do you want? This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna play 6-1 on the Dodgers sweep.
6-1 on the Dodgers
sweep, and there you go. We're done.
Oh, that was not the bet I was thinking.
Oh, I thought you didn't want to curse it by saying the Dodgers kill them. Oh, no. you thought Toronto. Oh no.
Everything about this, I mean, just the whole the world, the way the world things are happening right now, the way that the Dodger fans, we just sort of casually, which Dodger fans are usually great, but they kind of eased up this year. And then you see Toronto going nuts, and then to have a Canadian team win it with everything that's been happening, it just
well, maybe. So I went the other way. Okay.
And they also have the kind of team that could beat the Dodgers because they swing at everything. And
so I'm actually pretty contrarian with this take then. Okay.
Well, I mean, 6-1 is a pretty good price.
I'm pretty contrarian with playing Dodgers sweep. That's like basically the anti-zeitgeist play. You know what I mean? Like, because Toronto's dancing in the streets and all the stuff. Yeah, I know. And the evil empire, the Dodgers. Yeah, I'm down. I'm playing in the sweep.
Okay. I hope you're right. I'll put it that way.
We're locked.
Yeah, if I would have won first place last night, I would definitely be going to the World Series now.
Well, who's the home field?
Toronto.
Okay.
So it starts off there on
is it 2-3-2 or 2-2-1-1-1?
2-3-2.
Okay.
Which is in baseball, it's always got to be 2-3-2 because if they ever try to change it to go across country for one game of base, it just doesn't make any sense. For one game in basketball with the crowd going crazy, but baseball, the stadium, whatever. You know what I mean?
Okay, so you can't make it to Game 4 because you have plans with your son or with whoever.
No.
I'm just throwing something out there to you.
Oh, okay.
You can't make it to Game 4. Very important thing you can't make. Okay, and obviously you can't make it to Game 3 either because it's the same thing. Okay? It's 3-0 Dodgers going to Game 4. Who do you root for?
Dodgers.
But you have first row tickets to Game 5 if necessary.
I think I'm still rooting for the Dodgers.
I figured.
I don't know how to change that stuff.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah,
it all goes out the window for some reason with them more than any team. Like last night, I was in the Lakers are in a playoff game. I'm like, if I'm going to win 25,000 in DFS, I don't care. You know what I mean?
Excuse me. You're like, excuse me. I know what you were thinking. The Warriors are up like 14 in the fourth. Just get another 8 points and
that's exactly right. But even if it's a playoff game, but if it's a Dodger playoff game, I can't even let myself root for it.
Understood.
All right, bud. You guys. So again, I guess my overall take tonight would be to trust the projections a little bit more than usual, even though we don't know what they are, and then also trust some of your own takes.
Exactly.
But also make sure you're really up to the minute because it's really early. We're trying to figure out what everybody's doing. I think you have a lot of really good spend ups to choose between. You've got some total value. You can kind of play most of what you want today. So look for those contrarian guys who you want to bet on the upswing, like Wembanyama. Cade Cunningham is one that I love from tonight that I didn't really talk much about. Devin Booker, let's see how he goes if we get a little bit of point Booker tonight. Zion Williamson, I think, is going to have the bounce back here. Embiid on a minutes limit, not as exciting, still a good play. Those are the spend ups. And then Karl Anthony Towns, Evan Mobley. These guys are all terrific plays. And those will be the main ones for me as far as spend ups go.
So I'm gonna be firing this up at 11 p.m. Eastern, and I'm gonna I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do. At the very least, I promise you I'm gonna do a PGA lineup build. But I'm also
I didn't even know there was a tournament this week.
Yeah, there is.
Where is it?
In Utah.
Oh, it's like an American tournament. I thought it was like a World Tour thing or something.
No, they got some people. That's not the top of the group, but they got some people playing.
Wow, I was totally out on that one.
Yep.
Maybe I'll do it tonight with you. Maybe it'll win me.
Yeah, you'll jar something. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, bud. Well, have a good night. Good luck.
I'll see you guys at 11.
Congrats on the season, and then I will update all.